Afghanistan's new rulers. Military victory is theirs. The Taliban will now seek to build a government, and here negotiations and accommodations may have a bigger role to play. Who are the men to watch out for in coming weeks? After rolling effortlessly to power, the Taliban faced the hard scrabble of give and take politics and appear to be in negotiations to accommodate several interests within the factions and tribes and in the ecosystem that helped and supported them. Pakistan's security establishment is a main part of this and even their enemies. Baradar like new head. Going by the signals emerging from the huddles in Kabul and Doha, where high ranking Taliban leaders camped for nearly a decade for the talks with the US, Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, the number two in the organization and in charge of the political wing, is likely to head the new government. He arrived from Doha in Kandahar and participated in the first press conference of the new regime earlier this week. The supreme leader or Amir ur Momin, Maulvi Haitibullah Akhundzada, may not take part in government directly. There was a talk during the Doha discussions about an Iranian style supreme leader, and if that post is created in the new Afghan setup, Akhundzada could be the likely choice for it. Mullah Baradar belongs to the Popalji Pashtun tribe and is known as a co-founder of the Taliban along with Mullah Muhammad Omar, the first Amir. Omar of the Hotak tribe is said to have been extremely close to Baradar, which means brother, a nickname that Amir gave him. Baradar was designated under the UNSC 1272 in 2001 and remains on the list. In 2010, Baradar was detained by the ISI as he had begun to respond to overtures for peace talks from then President Hamid Karzai, a fellow Popalji. Karzai was anything but Pakistan's man, and through his years in office and until months ago was vocal about the role of Pakistan military in the conflict. Baradar spent 8 years in incarceration and was released only when the Trump administration launched talks with the Taliban in 2018. He headed the 9-member Taliban team that negotiated with the US Special Representative Jalame Khalilzad. They were the two signatories to the Doha Agreement last year, by which the US agreed to withdraw its troops on condition that the Taliban would not shelter Al-Qaeda or ISI and would hold negotiations with other Afghans to arrive at a political settlement to end the war. It is unclear if Baradar has now made his peace with Pakistan, which handheld the Taliban through the talks. But if he becomes the head of the new government, he is likely to be more independent-minded than the Pakistani security establishment, the army and ISI would like. A scion and two veterans. Mullah Muhammad Yaqub, 31-year-old son Mullah Omar, an operational head of military wing of the Taliban, would likely be an important figure in the new dispensation. He did not pitch himself hard when the leader of the Taliban was being chosen in 2016. He may now claim a place in the new setup. Yaqub was not in the Taliban delegation for talks with the US or for the intra-Afghan talks, but he was part of the Rehbari Shura, the Taliban's leadership council that is also known for the Quetta Sutra because some of its members were based in the city in Pakistan after the previous Taliban regime was ousted in 2001. Two other names that have cropped up in recent weeks, including in reports flatly denied by the Indian government that claimed a meeting with the External Affairs Minister J. Jaishankar, are Mullah Khairullah Khairwa and Mullah Muhammad Faz. Both men are 54 and were among the 5 Guantanamo Bay detainees who were captured in the months after the Taliban were ousted and who were released in May 2014 in exchange for the US soldier Bawi Begdal, who was captured by the Haqqani network. Khairwa is Popalji too and was interior minister in the previous Taliban regime. Faisal was also belongs to the Durrani tribe, was deputy defense minister. Haqqani claimant. It is unclear if Sirajuddin Haqqani will emerge from the shadows to become an official part of the new dispensation, but he will remain a critical factor in the determining its decision and actions. He inherited the leadership of the Haqqani network from his father Jalaluddin, has been designated a terrorist under UNSC Resolution 1272 since 2007 and carries a US reward of 5 million on his head. The Haqqani network is a militant entity allied with Taliban, but it is distinct from it and is closest of all the groups with Taliban to Pakistan ISI. It has found permanent shelter in Pakistan's North Waziristan and has strong links with Al Qaeda. Others in the mix. Two members of the Taliban have made a high profile during the Doha talks. Sir Mohammad Abbas Staljaiki, who ran the political office of the Taliban in Doha since 2012, and Jaibullah Mujahid, the well-known chief spokesman who first revealed his face only on Tuesday in Kabul. Then there is the youngest Haqqani brother Anas, who has been the public face of Haqqani network. He led a Taliban delegation on Wednesday in a meeting with the former President Karzai and members of the deposed Ashraf Ghani government for what seemed to be the negotiations about government formation. Also present were Abdullah, who led the High Peace Council on the previous government, and former Mujahideen leader Gulbuddin Hekmatyar. If accommodated, it is unclear what roles they might seek. Karzai and Abdullah would be used to the Taliban in building bridges with Western nations. The aging Hekmatyar may look to old friend Pakistan for a seat in the bus. A possible Hazara presence. Iran's outreach to the Taliban in recent months and its covert support to the Taliban fight back against the US could mean that the new dispensation may have Hazara who are Shia representation. A large contingent of the erstwhile pro-Indian North Alliance made up mainly of Tajik and Hazara flew to Islamabad on the day Kabul fell. Indication that they want to be partners in the new government. Two men to watch in this delegation are Mohammad Mohaki, an ethnic Hazara and former Mujahideen from Mazar-e-Sharif, and Muhammad Karim Khaili, also Hazara and former vice president during Karzai presidency. Thank you.